what she said. Sports, okay. I feel like this is getting ready to be part two. Although we had a very, very engaging conversation this morning, and knew I was going to like focus on the business of football. Now, if you're on X, you can see me including Angel Reese in that. Why? Because what's going on with Shedeur is not NFL specific. It's happening in the NFL. But I told y'all when I started this channel, I said Angel Reese and Shedeur Sanders unjustly gets vitriol spewed at them from adults. They were in college when I said that. Now they're in the what? In the pro leagues, right? And we see Shedeur Sanders coming through the draft, getting vitriol spewed at him, the fame, but it's happening within the league. It's not coming from the fans. See, when he was at Colorado, it was coming from the fans, not Colorado fans, but supposed football fans. And people like to say, oh, that's just good natured ribbon or fun, because they want Colorado to lose. But no, we saw something else happening. Because what? We never saw vitriol spewed at Nick Saban, but we did see it spewed at Coach Prime. Who's what? Shedeur Sanders' father. Well, now Shedeur is in the NFL, right? So as of right now, I don't hear any fans talking about, Shedeur in that manner. It's coming from within the house. The call is coming from within the NFL. And we talked about what happened in the draft. And you could see how the NFL was complicit in passing out his phone number to 2,000 people who did not need to know, aka a data breach, right? Falling into the hands of whom? Someone with a connection to Ole Miss, which so happens to run through the New York Giants at what position? The quarterback. Where did the New York Giants quarterback come from? What school did he go to? Ole Miss. So you see there's something there, right? So, Shedeur's in Cleveland, and the Browns have a dilemma, right? Shedeur Sanders was actually expected to be their franchise quarterback. It's documented. And they pivoted away somewhere, I said, around March 31st when the owner said, what? We took a big swing and missed with Deshaun Watson. Well, as time has gone on, that's actually up for debate, right? And then what happens? They now have Shedeur Sanders, but instead of the number 2 pick, he was the number 144th pick. And we have people who associate themselves with the NFL going on to the old World Wide Web with old digital media that most people don't read, right? To find favor and stir the pot with people who feel like Coach Prime should not be a black head coach in the Power Five at such an elite level, right? And then we have people who are still NFL fans who don't want to see what? The majority of starting quarterbacks every week be black, right? So you have analysts associated with the NFL stirring this up. The NFL giving out Shedeur Sanders' phone number, the prey coming from within the house with the connection to New York Giants and Ole Miss, correct? All at the executive level and up, above many people's pay grades in NFL. But 2,000 people did get what? An email with Shedeur Sanders' phone number, right? And there was an email attachment known as a waiver wire. So let's see where we are with Cleveland in their dilemma of too many quarterbacks. Will they use the waiver wire that was attached to Shedeur Sanders' email? They were making fun of him, but is that getting ready to become a reality? We talked about this, right? What did we say? Who cuts their best quarterback? Shedeur Sanders, while being considered the 4th string, has risen to what? The number 1 QB that Cleveland has. And somebody said to me on X a moment ago, and they were like, well, Shedeur has never played a snap in the NFL, as if it's just so hard and so difficult. It's just very, very hard, right? No, it's not. What these players who are pro ready have to overcome is learning the damn playbook. And if they get it in enough time, they're going to do exactly that. So, my response was, because this person, I don't know who was, they were like, Joe Flacco should start because Shedeur has never, played a snap in the NFL. I'm like, Uncle Flacco has not played a full season since 2017. So what are we doing, right? Like, why are we pretending that Flacco's QB1 when he can't even play a majority of the games? And let's understand this. Flacco is not playing against Shedeur. Flacco is playing against defenses. the Baltimore Ravens defense, maybe Green Bay Packers defense, right? Preseason, Philadelphia Eagles defense. Oh, they're going to give that game to Shedeur. The Carolina Panthers defense. So Flacco has to play against the same defenses that in 2023 took him and made him unavailable for one of the biggest games in Cleveland's 2023 season, the last game, which was going to take them where? To the playoffs, because they were what? 11-4. Flacco inherited a 7-4 winning record from three quarterbacks who rotated through 7 games, which is essentially unheard of. One is Deshaun Watson, who has what? A winning record in Cleveland. So it is debatable that they took a big swing and miss. And you can't berate a man because he got injured on your job, right? So that's debatable too. So what is Cleveland going to do with too many quarterbacks with Uncle Flacco as the one that they have shared a locker with Jerry Jeudy? And Shedeur Sanders is the best quarterback they have, not only in skill wise, but the best option to play the entire season at a high level. So they hit with the level. And so the NFL does as well, because how do you justify taking off the draft board without notifying Shedeur Sanders, because he gave you his phone number, right? That you were no longer considering him as an option as a quarterback in the league overall, because no other team had the opportunity to draft him, which is essentially a moratorium on drafting Shedeur Sanders. Is there a moratorium on starting Shedeur Sanders at QB1 in Cleveland? Because why are we talking about Joe Flacco, who has not played a full season since when? 2017. Hence, Uncle Flacco. So that's where we are. And today we get ready to pick up right where we left off, because what did we get in the conversation about? We started talking about primetime games and the audience the NFL has, the one that's interested in them and the one that they want. And my question was, why on earth are the most primetime games going to Kansas City, Dallas, and the Buffalo Bills? Why wouldn't it be Philadelphia Eagles? So James, who's a member for What She Said Sports, he's in our community. James said, well, you got to look at the ratings. Let's understand this about the ratings. And of course, I went and looked, right? Because you can't challenge me and I'm not going to go look. The ratings come after what? The schedule has to be made first. So if there's 18 games on prime time and the NFL decides who the 18 games are, the ratings going to just come out to be what it is. You have to look at the schedule. So I went back and looked at the ratings, because James said we got to look at the ratings. Well, guess what? In 2024, the highest rating, highest viewership went to Kansas City. The year before, they lost the Super Bowl. The Dallas Cowboys, because they got positioned there. What the hell else am I going to watch? And then, oh, I'm sorry. Kansas City was one. Guess who was number two? Not the Dallas Cowboys. The Detroit Lions. Guess who was number three? Not the Buffalo Bills. The Dallas Cowboys. So the Dallas Cowboys actually slipped down a notch. So why is it this year it's Kansas City and Dallas and the Buffalo Bills? What happened to Detroit? Why not Philadelphia? And honestly, when you look at all of the numbers, the Buffalo Bills is number 6. Philadelphia is number 10, but there's not a wide gap between these numbers. So what that tells me is fans watch what the league puts on prime time. And the league knows that too. The ratings are dictated by the schedule. If I say the first game should be Kansas City and so that's what people gonna watch. Because NFL fans like football. We don't really care who's playing, but we want to see the best. Why is that not Philadelphia? And there's not a wide enough gap. They all are approximately 23 mil. That if you put Philly on first with the most primetime games this year, they're going to have the highest viewership. But they seemingly are positioning Kansas City and the Dallas Cowboys, who really had the number 3 last year. How did they get to the number 2 spot? Did they win anything? But Kansas City is left off, and the Buffalo Bills are there. So it's like they just put out what they want you to watch, what benefits them, right? So that's where we are. There's no explanation for why the Philadelphia Eagles, who won the Super Bowl, don't have a top three prime time slot? There is none. There's no explanation for why the Cowboys were three and now they're two. They didn't win anything. Kansas City shouldn't even be one. They didn't win the Super Bowl. And the numbers aren't wide enough. They didn't make that big of a difference. So, James, checkmate. What else you got? Because there's no justifiable reason that that's the order at all. If you tell me Kansas City fans like Kansas City or people want to see Kansas City, okay, give them number three then. Give them Dallas. Why does Dallas and Kansas City get the coveted prime time spot and neither one of them won nothing last year? Dallas fallen, but they come up to number two. Why? Because they have the highest valuation in the NFL at 10 billion, and that's what they want to do as owners. Well, Jerry, your team ain't won it since Heck was a puppy. So let's just go and give you, you got $10 billion valuation. Let's just go ahead and give you the number two spot. You deserve to get that. Why? They split the money down the middle. So why it gotta be Dallas? They take that money and they split it up between 32 teams and get the even amount. So why they gotta give it to him? Oh, that's what they want to do. They want to position Dallas because Jerry Jones is like one of the oldest owners out here. It's not about the fans and what we want to see and about good football and about competitive football. And that's why we having this conversation. What are we doing? So we want to see good football. What we're going to have to do? Find somebody else? And then there's the international part that was brought up. Several people said what? They're playing, I think, 6 or 7 or 8, a record-breaking number of games overseas. And there's a conversation we get ready to have private that's stemming from the international NFL, right? So I said, okay, I want you to look at where they're playing. Brazil, England, Germany, different places, Ireland, like that, right? When you think of those places, what do you think of? What do you think of? Whether it's right or wrong, who comes to mind? The people that they want the demographic to be over here. Did y'all know there was a NFL Africa? Did y'all know since 2022, there's been an exploration of talent in Africa? In places like Ghana, Kenya, South Africa, right? Nigeria. Since 2022, it's 2025, but no game. Nigeria has a beautiful stadium that holds about 65,000 people. So they're exploring talent. They have talent development. They actually have a program that Indianapolis has 6 African players on their roster because they're working to bring players either who were born directly in Africa or whose parents immigrated to the US and they were part of the program. There's a program that's international that essentially takes them from Africa to the UK or to the US by way of college. They identify the talent that they think will be good. They play positions like offensive tackle, offensive line. I've yet to see a quarterback emerge from this program. Better yet, why haven't we seen a game in Africa? It's been 3 years. The stadium's already there. It holds 65,000 people. So we're going to talk about the business of international football on a private members only live stream. So get ready for the next one. Stay tuned for the date. I'll publish it in the members only section because it's not a conversation we can have here. It's a conversation that we're going to have in a closed environment where we can be candid and honest about the business of NFL Africa. So, yes, there's international games. And I want y'all to know when games go, the NFL takes their product, and I don't just mean the people, I mean the games and everything that come with it. I think I heard the money that they made in New Orleans for the Super Bowl had a B in it, not millions, but billions, right? So they take that overseas. They're taking those businesses overseas, right? They're taking this opportunity to these different countries, right? Ireland, they're going to make money off of that in Ireland. Brazil, they're going to make money in Brazil, not just the NFL. They get to expand their brand, but every host country is going to make money. Just like when the Olympics, right? They make money, right? So if the NFL has camps and exploration in NFL Africa, what would happen if the NFL plays in that beautiful stadium that holds 65,000 people in Nigeria? One of the fastest growing countries out here. See how that works? I'm taking the talent from there and I'm making them flag football. Talent I take from there comes over here or to the UK, and then I go play games in cities other than where I'm taking this talent from, in countries other than where I'm taking this talent from. So essentially, it's like the HBCU combine, because there is an international NFL combine, right? There's an HBCU combine. And what did I point out? I think they said in 2024 they didn't take any players. This year we did see some players come out, but they invited those players to what? The NFL combine. So there's a separate holdout, right? But what talent did I say I haven't seen emerge through those doors? The coveted what? Quarterback position. Just like Shedeur, Cam, and Miller. Right? See, it's all ties together. It's all intentional. I'm happy to get offensive tackles and O line and bring them through a pathway program internationally and into college and the NFL. I'm happy to do that. That means I'm working with who? Colleges. And what did I tell y'all about the 2025 QB list? Who's on it and who's not, and what they're positioning? Protection for the coveted QB position. So if I'm willing to do all that globally, you don't really think I have the same intention with the prime time schedule on who it is I'm positioning that people see week in and week out? Same thing with who's going overseas to play in these games. I looked at the list. Yes, Washington is on it. But guess who's the first game? Kansas City. So you don't think that's intentional? So just like the international schedule is intentional, the primetime schedule is intentional as well. And it does everything to project what they want you to know and see about what positions are covered. Right? Philadelphia is not on that list of international games. Why not? They won the Super Bowl. Why wouldn't you want to take Philadelphia? You see, that's just as intentional as in college as you have the Cotton Bowl and the Sugar Bowl, following cotton plantations and sugar plantations. Why do college fans need a reminder of such atrocities? To devalue other people as a reminder of who's valuable and who's just labor? So when people say you got to look at the ratings are a byproduct of the schedule. You have to look at the schedule, the international schedule, who's first, who's on it, and who's not. Is Philadelphia not on the international schedule? How are they not at least the first or top three primetime games? Why was Philadelphia, in my opinion, the only Super Bowl team I've ever seen decimated? What's so special about Philadelphia? They love Saquon Barkley, right? Why wouldn't you want that to be the first game to your new audience you're trying to fetch overseas? You don't want them to see your best. Y'all don't find that strange? So, like I said, they're taking their politics and their biases overseas. And we're gonna see how that plays out. And that's why they carefully selected certain places. But I got news for them about Ireland. If you don't know your history of Black people in Ireland, you may want to learn. They're all Black gingers. And we're not all gingers. Detroit and Philadelphia are considered urban markets. I don't know why, because Detroit have been gentrified up and down. Soccer, yep, they play soccer overseas. Yep. Happy Monday. Hey, Gracie, how you doing? How you doing? They want to showcase the NFL fames, right? Right. It's like again, Philadelphia just left out. No prime time. Not the top three prime time slots or the top. The most. Not going internationally. They are taking the Commanders, Atlanta. Philadelphia. Like, what's that say? What's that say? When you win the Super Bowl and you don't get prime time slots, it goes to teams that did win the Super Bowl, and you don't get showcased overseas. What does that say? The Super Bowl don't mean anything. That's what it says. And you know what that does? That allows me to execute the NFL draft the way I did in 2025. I'm not concerned about talent. So what are they concerned about? The optics. So imagine you working for the Philadelphia Eagles and y'all working your heart out. And you get to the Super Bowl, you win, but you can't even you're not even on the top three of the most prime time games. And when the NFL breaks a record for taking its product overseas, they don't bring you with them. It's a slap in the face. It's a slap in the face. And that means everybody working for that organization who also got the email about Shedeur Sanders' phone number and the waiver wire transaction, because Philadelphia Eagles got it too. They know exactly why they don't have prime time slots the most. Why they not in the top three. They know exactly why they're not being taken overseas. Hey Jerry, how you doing? So yeah, they're showcasing their favorites once again. It's just bias. So the business of football is a lot like the business of basketball. I saw, where fans are suggesting, not fans, but haters are saying that Angel Reese should do what? She should copyright me bounds instead of rebounds. And she said she gonna copyright it because they're trying to say that she's only rebounding her own misses. That's just like Shedeur Sanders is tapping the only one tapping the ball. Angel Reese said it. She said anything that come off the glass is mine. So they're not looking at what she's actually doing. They're finding a reason to hate on her. Now we don't see the fans in the NFL do that to Shedeur just yet. But where do we see it coming from? He's tapping the ball. He's drifting back out the pockets. Both are done by legends. One they consider a legend is still out here playing in Pittsburgh, where Shedeur Sanders was supposed to be relegated to QB2. So he's not the only person getting his what? He's not the only person tapping the ball. He's not the only person drifting back in the pocket. That's just something to say. So why is it Angel Reese and Shedeur Sanders both now in the pros? Why is so much vitriol? Why does there seem to be a concerted effort between the media and the leagues that they're in? To them, they're like, because the league that they're in wants them to be the face of it. The WNBA wants to choose the face of their league, despite who's the best. And we already saw how it goes with the NFL, right? They didn't choose the best in the draft. So they want to position who they want to position. They want to talk about who they want to talk about. They want to take overseas and showcase who they want to, they want to control the optics on what the new fans they're trying to get in the NFL sees. Meanwhile, since 2022, there's NFL Africa. With no games played, at least Nigeria, one of the fastest growing metropolis countries out here. So y'all let me know what y'all think about that. So it appears the NFL is taking a page from the NBA. The NFL is too black. There you go. And we know what the WNBA is, right? We know that, right? So people ask me what I thought of Caitlin Clark, showing off the Shedeur. I think there's anything wrong with it. I think it shows that Shedeur is popular everywhere, right? Not just in the NFL, not just in college, not just with the NBA. We know that baseball fans are doing it. It shows to me that Caitlin Clark is culturally aware. She knows what's going on. She knows what she's going on, and she herself, she don't want to be pigeonholed and used the way they used her in year one. That's why before this season started, she came out and said the WNBA was built off the backs of black women. She put it out there. And I'm sure there are people that didn't want her to say that. There are people that don't want black women, black men to be the face of their leagues, and the people that they choose to be the face. They don't want those people co-signing their popularity. The video sent to me today, and we might share it later. Y'all know who Njoku is? Also African. I think one of 9 children born to immigrant parents. Um, he likes Shedeur, right? And somebody sent this video to me, and I thought that was sweet. It was the first person underneath there, and he tagged me. And I said, "Thank you for sending this to me." And it was like 4 slides, and Juka was mic'd up, right? Not just the part that y'all saw where Shedeur was like, crashing out, not cool. There was actually content before that, right? And it's clear how he likes Shedeur, and he was calling himself gravitating toward other people. So like he was talking to coaches, he was telling them, "I'm mic'd up." So before you say anything, I'm mic'd up. So Flacco was walking across the field, and he was walking behind Flacco. Flacco didn't stop or turn around. I was like, okay, I guess he wants and Juco to think he don't hear it. So then what happens? He gets to Shedeur, and they just standing there talking. It's Shedeur right here and Juco right here. They were talking about a celebration, like don't be doing the little gunshot thing or whatever. And they were just laughing and talking. And here comes this coach right in the middle while they talking. I'm like, wow, wow, okay. So they were having a conversation with a gap between them. If somebody comes in and fills the gap to basically essentially break up their conversation. So y'all know how we hear about the vets like Shedeur. Where have you heard and seen this? Not in Cleveland. You saw it where? On social media. We know about this award because somebody told us, right? We know about Miles Garrett because we heard what he said, right? And then you have Njoku, who is African, right? Coming through, and I'm not saying he came through this program, but they have this program, right? And not that he was a part of it, or I don't know if he was or not. I know 6 people that played for the Indianapolis Colts did, are direct beneficiaries of that. But let me just say this, and I'm gonna try to say this right. Okay, there are people who believe, right, um, that Black people and Africans are different, and there are people that look at Africans like immigrants and not Black people because we're not, and they think there's a world of disconnect, and there's not. And I don't know if people know where oxtails truly come from, and it's not Jamaica, right? So when you see Shedeur, when you know what they trying to do to him, and you see Njoku, who is parents were immigrants, but he's born here, he's an American, right? Uh, and you know what they trying to do in Africa, and then you see him laughing and talking with Shedeur. See, that ain't supposed to happen. That ain't supposed to happen. So when those two were standing there talking with a gap in the middle, because they naturally keep gravitating towards each other, because they fit. That's called chemistry, or they friends, or they like each other. And Joker was funny. They said he was one of the first people to welcome Shedeur. See, that ain't supposed to happen. That ain't supposed to happen, but it's happening. And then they got a coach, an older white coach. Just come stand in the middle, just insert himself. So you know what that tells me when I see Flacco keep walking by and Njoku is trying to get him to stop, and it's known that Njoku is, laughing and talking with Shedeur, and he and Shedeur are standing there together with a gap in the middle, and somebody comes and fills the gap with some minor conversation. I think he said something about if the tight ends could hold on to the ball, and Njoku laughed it off and said, "Just throw it to me, I got you," and went right back to his conversation. So it's kind of like when you're 2 kids in the house and your pet, y'all are laughing and talking, a group of teenagers at a sleepover, and they laughing and talking and having the time of their life, and they just talking. And then a parent walks in, the room goes quiet. That's what it looks like. And none of them are these guys' parents. But it does look like there might possibly be some type of willingness to break up the vets who gravitate towards Shedeur. That's why I asked y'all who got cut when they made the first cuts right around mandatory rookie camp. I wanted to see who it was. I wanted to see if they was gonna cut anybody that we saw, you know, who liked Shedeur. So I'm still paying attention because they got to get to a 53-man roster, and I'm not anxious, but I'm waiting to see who's on it. So there's your team. There's your team for the huddle. Because see now you're not looking at Coach Prime, or you see the further we get away from the draft, and you see the attempt to hold back Shedeur, and you see what's really happening on the field in Cleveland when people are mic'd up, you can hear, and you see who naturally gravitates towards without any fear of Shedeur and who walks away from those people, right? Like they didn't hear them, right? And if you've heard it, and he right there, and he kept walking, he didn't even turn around. Maybe he had his feelings. Maybe Uncle Flacco in his feelings. Because let's be honest. Let's just be honest here. Flacco has not played a full season since 2017. And to keep saying Flacco should start, he should start, he should start. And then we should turn it over to Shedeur. What if it's a bad record? That's right. If Shedeur can close out the season, guess what? He can start and play the whole season, and they can name him QB1, and the rest can be the supporting cast. Because that's what they are. Dillon was never intended to be a starter. He was always going to be a backup. But when they got Shedeur after they couldn't keep him out of the draft, they thought they was going to make Shedeur behind Dillon as if Shedeur didn't have talent and skills or would not come out here and ball out, which is what he does everywhere. Like his father. He wins everywhere he goes. The question is, does Cleveland even want to win? Because we already see in mandatory camp, they wouldn't let people see Shedeur run with the ones. So do they really want to win, or do they just want to create excuses? Are they just setting up the excuse for when we get to camp? Again, he not working with the ones. They're going to have a rude awakening because I can already tell. People about to go ape crazy on Cleveland for this about Shedeur. But they must have forgot who they think bought $250 million in jerseys. The same people they can't stop talking about. The same QB they can't stop talking about. So not only is he a talented and gifted, because I think he's gifted, talented and gifted quarterback. When Cleveland go overseas to London, who they gonna put out there? Because they going. Jacksonville going too, which is Travis, right? So who they gonna put out there when they go to London? It's gonna be interesting to see. So yep, they playing favoritism, taking a page from the NBA, definitely the WNBA for sure. Hey Isaiah, welcome back, welcome back. It said now WNBAs are upping page buckers. I knew that was gonna happen, and ignoring the rest of them. I knew that was gonna happen. And I also know they're trying to get there. See, I don't think it's a coincidence that Angel Reese and Haley Van Lith are on the same team. Does anybody think that's a coincidence? It's not. So I want to use Caitlin, Paige, and Haley to drown out who? Alicia Gray, Dejanay Carrington, and Angel Reese. If y'all don't know who Alicia Gray is, she won the 3-point and the skills contest during the WNBA All Star game. Because she a baller. That's why I go to the Atlanta games. I have her t-shirts. She's a baller, and she put up 30 last night. Did you hear about it? So again, the same thing that's happening with Shedeur, except for it's a little bit different. And why is that? Right? Why is it that so many people come to Shedeur's defense, but only half the people come to Angel Reese's? And by half, I mean women. And that's a whole nother conversation. That's gonna also be a members only chat because I can't say it here. But I mean, have you noticed it? The reason that people are coming with full force about Shedeur and why it's working is because it's everybody. But see, the WNBA, it's a lot of women. It's some men too, but way more women and less men. So why is it men don't want to stand up for Angel Reese like they want to stand up for Shedeur? To be continued. All right. It said, hey, chat. Hey, James. It said, I agree with y'all. But why I sent you the message to go pull up? What? Why I sent you the message? It said, I also sent a message to your reply to research the contrast in our NFL markets. I already looked up the stats of the highest viewership in 2024. And Buffalo was not in the top five. So how they get in the top three this year? And last year, the Cowboys were two, and now they three. No, so the Cowboys were three, and now they're two. And again, Philadelphia is nowhere to be found. So here's the thing, and I'm gonna say this again. James, understand that the views are a byproduct of the schedule. And what is happening is people are just watching what the NFL puts out, but it's not necessarily what fans want to see. That's why the viewers don't, it don't really matter. But I looked at it and it proved me right. It proved me right. Philip, the Bills have no reason on there. They weren't even top five last year and they didn't do anything this year. And if anybody should be on there, why Baltimore not on there? If the Bills lost to Kansas City, then Philadelphia should definitely be on there, right? Because Philadelphia beat Kansas City. So the Nielsen ratings, the views, that's a byproduct of the schedule. It's whatever they put out there, and the Dallas Cowboys going to tell you that. People like, oh, fans love the Dallas Cowboys. Do they? They just watching it on TV. Yeah, they gonna go to the game, but I mean, really, should they get that? Philadelphia was at the bottom, and they had one of the best schedules in 2024. So that's where Dallas should be at. Because if Philadelphia can be at the bottom with a good schedule, so can Dallas. Dallas is getting preferential treatment, likely because why? Jerry Jones has the highest valuation of all the teams at 10 billion. He sits at the top of the, but he don't care about the Super Bowl. So what you're doing is you're slowly but surely whittling away at the league itself and the competition and what matters. When the Super Bowl don't matter, then why the hell should people pay at minimum 5,500 for one ticket? Or what else are y'all celebrating that? What is it really about? If you're willing to pay 5,500 for something that don't matter, and they don't put the winning team on the schedule next year, they don't even take them overseas. They don't even have the most time games. It's the people from last year, or I'm sorry, the year before. So the ratings don't matter because Philadelphia is at the bottom, but they had the best rating, and that's where the Cowboys should be. That's how you know this is not fair and square. Just like there's no fair competition, there's no real competition in Cleveland. It's also let you know they're not using their common sense because Flacco ain't played a full season and he got to play against multiple defenses. And they saw what happened in 2023. It just lets you know they're going to pick anybody but Shedeur. Even a guy that can't make it through the whole season, or when he take a hit, he's not available at our best opportunity. And we put somebody else in who didn't play at all. So winning is not the priority. That's what this tells you. If winning is not the priority, neither is the prime time schedule. That's not a priority. Is I'm gonna put out here who I want to put out here. I'm gonna benefit who I want to benefit. I'm gonna showcase overseas who I want to showcase overseas. Right. There you go, Miss Pamela. You got that one. So that's why, based off of Miss Pamela said, and you can read her comment, that's exactly why when you see Njoku and Shedeur, and I don't even know what they know. I know what I know. I know that ain't supposed to happen. I know they don't want that at all. And you see, and Njoku don't care. He like, I'm talking, I want to talk to him. Right? Miles Garrett didn't care. He said what he said. Right? Have y'all heard Jerry Judy say anything? He's sharing a locker with Flacco. How you think I know? Because he put it out there. He might have just told me. All he did was tell me when I read it, they got me sharing a locker with Flacco, so he gonna be the QB1. So yeah, that would be correct. This goes back to the fans having power and refuse to act on it. And the fans actually do have power. But see, the fans got to treat them, there's got to be Target 2.0 for them to do the right thing. And it shouldn't be that. It shouldn't even have to come to that. And they think in their minds, if I go out here and get the LGBT community, it's not going to come to that. You going to openly welcome LGBTQ players? You got to do that too, or you're going to find yourself in a pickle and fast. So I saw this post, right? And it was talking about Caleb Williams. I see exactly what they're doing. And they put out this post saying Caleb Williams told his father in the seventh grade, no girls, I'm focused on football. And it said something about his dad shed a tear because his son wasn't interested in girls. What y'all take from that? That was not put out by Caleb or his father. What y'all take from that? Let's be real. What you take from that? What you take from a story that says that? Now think about context. Think about how Caleb was sacked 68 times. Think about how he wanted to go to another league. Think about how allegedly they lured him back into this league and sacked him 68 times. And basically allegedly told him, we're gonna draft you anyway. Like you don't have no choice in this. How his father wanted him to stay at USC another year. How Caleb wears fingernail polish. So are they embracing the LGBTQ community or are they ridiculing Caleb Williams and trying to out him? You see, what you make of it? That didn't come from Caleb. You be out here outing people like that, right? And maybe that is his situation, or maybe it's not, because he has a girlfriend. Why Caleb? If you embrace the LGBT community, why would you just start with the player that you know is openly LGBTQ affiliated? Why Caleb? Because what they want to use to latch on to another audience, they use it to ridicule a player that they had sacked 68 times and who tried to hell and get away from them. How is that for welcoming the LGBTQ community? You see, I'm just trying to make myself boycott proof, just like the rest of the corporations out here. And what am I doing? When your actions and your words don't match, you scamming and you lying. And that's exactly what's happening. So I hope the LGBT community take notice and call them out expeditiously. This is like you wanted a prime Angus steak to go to a five-star restaurant and they serve you fried bologna, but you still sit there and eat it, plus pay state dollars for it. Right. Words and actions not matching. Trying to tarnish his image. There you go. Trying to make fun of him. See, they like pick and choose who they make fun of because they try to make fun of Shedeur. That's exactly what the email was about 2,000 people. That got that's what that was, making fun of Shedeur. Oh, you giving us your phone number, but you get ready to be cut. Whatever team you go to, undrafted, and he still got in the league. And then y'all saw Unjoko laughing with Shedeur again. They don't want to see that. They don't want to see that at all. That's why the coach came right on up there in the middle. And the person that sent it to me said slide 3 was funny. I said it was hilarious, especially Unjoko. Who did I say just replaced Mary Kate and Ashley? Right. 17 to 33. You say 33. Why 33, Rodney? I gotta know because I know you know it's 32 teams, so you put that up for a reason. And he's a black QB. Yup. Rodney, what is 17 to 33? Please tell me what you're saying. Because I know it's 32 teams, but I know you thinking something. So okay, understand. This week, the business of football. And me talking about Angel Reese is a part of that because it's really the business of sports. And I'm just using the example that I actually started this channel from to let you know, not only is this not about Coach Prime, this is not unique to the NFL. This is exactly what's happening to Angel Reese in the WNBA. This is why Haley Van Lith is on her team. This is why the same reason they want to make Flacco QB1, even though he can't even do it for a whole season. What are you going to do? Just stand there and pass the ball off to Quinshon Junkins? Maybe, because they are running a 2 running back set. But he does have to play against another defense. And then there's that clause that's randomly popping up that says they can void your future guarantees on the field issue. Is that if I say Flacco, is can I get my future guarantees voided? It didn't say. It didn't say. But when you go look at the two players in the first round who did get the fully guaranteed contracts, it makes you go, that's interesting. I think you can guess. Oh, okay, Rodney. So you really meant 17 to 32. Okay. I thought you were being funny about something else. It's okay. It's all right. But y'all see what's happening, right? There are 36 of us. Please make sure there's 36 likes. People do watch the videos afterwards. And your likes help push the content out further. So the business of football, we will be talking about it this week. We will have maybe Friday another members only live stream. So members, check the members only section. I just update y'all there. Anyway, think about becoming a member. We only going up from here, and we got new members. I announced them earlier, Echo, Monique, and I want to give a special thanks to people who support the channel too, whether they're members or not. Of course, the media team. I appreciate y'all for keeping me up to date. But then also too, I know we got Freeman. I want to say thank you to Freeman and hold on, let me get to it. And some other people. All right, let's see here. Okay, Freeman Harris. Special thanks to Freeman Harris. Wild Dog, special thanks to you as well. And Tina. I think it's Tina Davis. Thank you, Tina. Thank y'all so much for holding the channel down and helping us get to the next level. We only going up from here. Because guess what I'm getting ready to do? So y'all know we have Twitch, right? We're on Twitch. I am getting ready to, because I can't do it in this forum, to respond to all the comments I get across all platforms. And y'all just kind of get to see the vibe and, my response to all of these people. So make sure you download Twitch and you can check us out over there. Also, too, coming up, we got something fun coming up. So stay tuned for that as well. Like I said, your support really helps the channel get to the next level and us to do more things. And I'm excited about it. So I'll see y'all, I guess, tonight at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for What She Said Sports. And members, look for a message for the date and time of the next members only live stream. And it likely will be this Friday since it seems to work for everybody. All right, y'all, we're going to get out of here. Thank y'all so much. Terrence, hey, welcome back. Miss Pamela, welcome back. Let's keep an eye on Coco Golf and how she's treated when playing. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I talked about her too. But no, I totally agree, Miss Pamela. And, we'll eventually get to the point because there's a surfer I want to talk about, Neek. If you're on Instagram, I post everybody. Definitely check the stories every day. I get new people follow me every day, which is why people are starting to send me information that I may not be aware of. And I appreciate that because I can't see it all. So thank you so much. But if you are on Instagram, you should definitely follow me. My stories should pop up in your notifications. That's where I post everybody, the NASCAR drivers, Neek, who's the surfer, the skateboarders, everybody. It's not just about football. It's What She Said Sports. We talk about football on here. We talk about basketball. But on IG, it's everybody. All right, y'all. So I'll see y'all soon tonight, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for more What She Said Sports. I'm watching the Buffs practice right now, and they got some sweat hogs. Yeah, the Buffs, the trenches is up for sure. The trenches is definitely up. Hey, Tina. That's a good question. That might be why they're trying to go international. All right, y'all. To be continued. To be continued. This is good. This is always good. So I'll see y'all later. Thank y'all so much. 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What She Said Sports. Thank you.